Welcome back to Hot Water Wrestling, everybody, and today we're here to talk about The Undertaker and his undefeated WrestleMania streak. As we know, at WrestleMania 28, he's going to be going for 20-0. That's huge, 20-0. It's going to be the biggest of his matches to date, for sure. I mean, 18-0, 19-0 were huge, but now we're talking about the big 2-0, the big 20-0. I feel that if The Undertaker wins his 20-0 match, that'll be it. The streak will never be broken. If they're going to break the streak, they're going to do it now. It would be typical WWE style to really just stick it to everyone, the Taker, the fans, and just kill it, not let it get to 20-0. But who's going to be the guy to defeat The Undertaker? Who's it going to be? They just can't put any guy in the ring and have him defeat The Undertaker. It's going to have to be something substantial. It's going to have to be a superstar that they're invested in. It's going to have to carry on the legacy. So I made a little list of guys, and I'm going to go down the list, and I'm going to probably narrow down the three biggest candidates and who I think would be the people that would face The Undertaker, or one of them, would face The Undertaker at WrestleMania 28. Okay, let's get Brock Lesnar out of the way. Brock Lesnar, we all know, had an amazing feud with The Undertaker back in the day when he was in the WWE. They put on amazing matches. Brock Lesnar is a huge star in MMA. Fans have wanted him to come back to the squared circle for many, many years. It would be absolutely huge to have The Rock versus Cena, Brock versus Taker. I mean, that's a huge card right there. So you got Brock Lesnar. I think that Brock Lesnar is highly unlikely. I think he's very focused on his MMA career, especially given all the injuries that he's suffered and losing his heavyweight championship in UFC. I really think he still has something to prove there, and he is super focused, and I don't see him coming back. If he did come back and he fought The Undertaker, I would have to say that Taker would beat him and the streak would go to 20-0. I don't believe that Vince McMahon would allow Brock Lesnar to just waltz in, beat The Undertaker, and leave, especially him being an MMA talent. He's going to make that MMA talent suffer. That's inevitable. There's no way he would put Lesnar over. Okay, the next one would be Kane. Okay, kind of an obvious choice. It's the big 20-0, which is brother. I would have to say that this is kind of the least they could do. No disrespect to Kane, but we've seen Kane and Taker feuds before. But it is his brother. He is jealous. They could play that whole angle again, like, I'm not going to let you go to 20-0. I'm going to defeat you. And I think definitely Kane would lose that match. Just doesn't have the power, the push, and the star power to justify killing The Undertaker streak. Okay, the next would have to be, I'm going to put these guys together. This is highly unlikely, but this is another one of those kind of the least they could do, is Kevin Nash or Booker T. Now, I expect to see Booker T back in the ring eventually. It's something's got to give to where the guy's going to do some kind of angle, some kind of small campaign at least. We know Kevin Nash has been back, and they've been using him sparingly, which is kind of cool, you know what I mean? Because it keeps it special. But, two seasoned veterans, guys with lots of respect, go in there, face The Undertaker. There's nothing to argue about that. I don't think they would put either of these guys over. So there you have Kevin Nash and Booker T. Don't really think that'll happen. Next is CM Punk. Now, he doesn't have a match right now at WrestleMania. Obviously, Cena's out of the picture. We don't know if Cena's going to have the title on him at WrestleMania when he faces The Rock or not. Going to think that he's not going to have the title on him, you would expect perhaps CM Punk to be in the title picture at WrestleMania. So I don't believe they would use him to face The Undertaker, but if they did, once again, I think the Taker would have to go over. Especially CM Punk, he is a big star right now, and I think he's going to go down as one of the best wrestlers of this era for sure. But it's just too early in his career for him to go in there and take 20-0 away from the Undertaker. I mean, this is 20-0. Okay, next we have Randy Orton. Yeah, Randy Orton. Now this is where things get interesting. Randy Orton could absolutely positively take 20-0 from The Undertaker. Why? Well, obviously him and John Cena are the two top workers in the WWE. They have tons vested in Randy Orton. He's the Viper. He's a madman. He's tough as nails. I could see them giving the 20-0 streak to Randy Orton. I could see him putting The Undertaker down and adding that to his legacy. It would only build him up all the more. He's not going anywhere. And for years to come, it would be a great thing to talk about. Randy Orton defeating The Undertaker at WrestleMania 28. There's no shame in that at all for Undertaker. Be kind of a passing of the torch kind of situation there. So Randy Orton is definitely in my top three guys who could actually do it. And that leaves me with the last two guys on my list, each of which I think can do it. Next would have to be Triple H. Excuse me. Triple H. His buddy Shawn Michaels had 2 matches in a row with The Undertaker. There is no reason that Triple H can't have 2 matches in a row with The Undertaker. Do I think they would put him over? That is the most iffy thing out there. It really could go either way, so I can't really sit here and say yes or no definitely. My gut would tell me no, but it definitely is completely plausible. And that's one thing about this 20-0 match that's very important, is that the man The Undertaker faces, it's got to be completely plausible that he would lose to them. Starting with the Shawn Michaels feud, the last 3 years, the 2 Michaels matches and the Triple H matches, we went into those, at least I did, saying, hey, The Undertaker can lose this match. They might give the victory to Shawn Michaels this time. They might give it to Triple H. If you get some guy in there like a Kevin Nash or a Kane, you're kind of thinking to yourself, well, there's no way they're just going to let Shawn Michaels have these amazing matches and Triple H have his amazing match and just let Kane just come in there and win. So Triple H could do it. He's definitely a candidate. And then my last guy on the list is Chris Jericho. Good old Chris Jericho. Yep, he's been out of wrestling for a while. I could definitely see him coming back, maybe even at the Royal Rumble. I think maybe even if he doesn't face Taker, he might come back at the Royal Rumble. I would be shocked if Chris Jericho was not on the card at WrestleMania this year. I think to cement his career, he needs to do this last WrestleMania and come back, because he didn't really go out in style, so to speak. So Chris Jericho would be last on my list, and absolutely it's plausible that Chris Jericho defeat The Undertaker. Chris Jericho is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, one of the most decorated wrestlers of all time. He's a great in-ring worker. He's a ring general. He's a true bona fide legend, definite future Hall of Famer, and he's freaking Chris Jericho, man. The guy's the man. And that would be on the level of the Shawn Michaels, Triple H's. Jericho can put on a match just like those guys. They can make an elevated match. And I think it's plausible that Chris Jericho wins. So my top 3, the guys who I think can win would be Randy Orton, Triple H, or Chris Jericho. If it's not one of those 3 people, I think it's a shoo-in that The Undertaker retain his 20-0 streak. I think the match could only be interesting if it contained those 3 guys, with the exception of Brock Lesnar. Okay? Although I just highly doubt Brock Lesnar is going to go over, and there's no way Vince is going to let Lesnar win. And I would just have to say it's completely out of the question that Brock Lesnar is not going to just walk in and job to the Taker in the middle of his MMA career. It's just, I really don't think that we're going to see Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. So there you have it. There's my video. Let me know what you think. But Chris Jericho, Triple H, Randy Orton, who's it going to be? I think it's going to be one of those 3 guys for sure, definitely. Unless some crazy shit happens where Shawn Michaels comes back. And hey, it could happen, And then we also have, you know what? I forgot. I have a guy on my list I didn't even talk about. The Big Show. You know, the Big Show is definitely a possibility. Although I don't think the match could be at the level the Shawn Michaels, Triple H matches were. So we have to kind of rule him out. I didn't even mention him, so I just mentioned him. But I want to end back on my high note. The three guys, Randy Orton, Triple H, Chris Jericho, leave your comments. Let me know what you think. What are they going to do this year at WrestleMania 28 for Undertaker's 20-0? And I apologize if this video is out of sync. I really hope it's not, but it's showing me some lagging as I've been recording it here. So I'm going to cross my fingers because I think I did a good one. I don't want to do this crap over again. But I enjoyed making this video. Let me know what you think. Take it easy. See you next time on Hot Water Wrestling. Yeah! Quick go to my autographs up here on the wall. Check it out. Check it out. Oh, yeah. Macho Madness. Yeah.